Hello and welcome along to Aston Villa from the stands. We're here to bring the latest Aston Villa news and transfer updates, as well as all things Aston Villa to talk about. We've got a lot to discuss today. Ollie Watkins to Arsenal now seems very unlikely, and that deal seems to be off. So, what happens with Ollie Watkins going forward? Can we offload him? Will we offload him? Is there that possibility, or is that ship sailed? That's an interesting one. Manchester City. Now, I thought they would start this. I thought this would be merry Manchester City. But with the rise of Morgan Rogers and being an ex-player, and of course, Manchester City are very hopeful of re-signing Morgan Rogers. That'll be an interesting discussion to have. And finally, the Wembley ticket wars. Wow, dear oh dear. People on social media have voiced their opinions. It seems that season ticket holders versus members. People, you have to see if you agree or disagree on the criteria. Of course, Villa aren't going to please everyone, but those ticket wars have begun. So big up to everyone. Hope you're well. Hope you're good. And yes, lock in and let me know how you're doing in the chat today. Big up to each and every single one of you. And of course, some other news, side news as such is we've had some contract extensions. Rory Wilson and Bogard have also signed the thing. They've signed their deal there over the dotted line. So that will, of course, for me, indicate another progression of where Aston Villa are going. So, yeah, big up to everyone. Smash the like button, share the love, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. And let's get into today's stories. And we're going to go straight to the Ollie Watkins one. We covered Ollie Watkins the other night and always find this debate about Ollie Watkins interesting because basically there's a lot of fans who have had it in their head that Ollie is going to Arsenal. That's all I hear these days. Is we're probably going to sell Ollie in the summer. Ollie Watkins is probably going to go to Arsenal. X, Y, and Z. The more you look into it, though, and the more the reports are coming out, this Ollie Watkins to Arsenal situation seems very unlikely now, and it then becomes that old adage debate. Villa, are we happy with Watkins as our number 9 next season, or do we feel like we can do better? That's the big question, and that is the big task at hand. So let's see what people think on this one. But look, we had David Ornstein comment on the Ollie Watkins situation in January. This just happened, and where he said that actually Arsenal were in negotiations. Villa potentially offered Ollie Watkins to Arsenal, and essentially because John Duran left, Arsenal turned him down and rejected him. Well, Sky Sports have now come up with a situation. And of course, Sky Sports, not always the most reliable, but when they comment, they comment. And have a look at this one as well. And big up to everyone in the chat as well who's here today. And if you are watching replay as well, appreciate it. Appreciate it. Look, Arsenal bid for Aston Villa striker Ollie Watkins in January, but it is understood that interest has since cooled as they're now looking for a younger centre forward than the 29-year-old Watkins. So this is another source confirming to us that Ollie Watkins to Arsenal seems very, very unlikely. And that may come as a surprise to some people. And people are going to maybe hold that link and they're going to run with that story because it's an easy one to do. But essentially, Ollie Watkins to Arsenal now doesn't seem likely. And I agree on that one. And you sometimes now have to ask the question, if but when did Villa miss the opportunity, the market opportunity to sell Ollie Watkins? The big thing there is his age at 29. They're saying that Arsenal are looking for that younger centre forward. And I said on my stream the other day, Arsenal looking for Gyökeres as their main striker. That was the link going out of Arsenal the other day. Of course, you would choose someone like Gyökeres over Ollie Watkins. My issue is right now is a lot of Villa fans believe Ollie Watkins to Arsenal is the destination. Everyone sees it as Ollie will break the record this season for overtaking Gabby, and then he goes to Arsenal. Well, in that case, what are we going to do about that? Because if Arsenal, and if this story is true, that Arsenal are now no longer interested in Ollie Watkins, and that interest is going to cool off. The 29-year-old Ollie Watkins stays at Aston Villa. And I think that is the case. I think that is a situation where Watkins will stay with us. I've said this. I think Villa would only sell if the right price and the right club is there. And I've really felt this situation for a while, that Watkins will have to stay if Arsenal are not in for him. I think it's an interesting one as well, that at 29 years old, he loses any resale value. If Arsenal have to pay 50, 60 million for Ollie Watkins at 29 years old, when they want to move him on or the transfer, you lose so much money off that, half the price, if not less. And that is the problem. So let me know your thoughts on that. Big up to Fraser Football in the chat, legend of the channel. He says that Arsenal probably is going to get Gyökeres and thinks that Villa will sell Ollie Watkins still. And I'm asking this question then next. Big up to Martin Roberts as well. He said, hi, sorry for not buying it. Going too soon. Sorry, I was busy and in Paris right now. No worries, Martin. Hope you're well. Big up to my mum and dad as well in the chat. But ultimately, for me, what I'm trying to suggest is, if you can't see Ollie Watkins going to Arsenal, then where else? Where else does Ollie go? Maybe, and this is another very one, Chelsea. And this is where I'm sort of looking at it again. Chelsea are dying out for a number 9. We've always had a weird link with Chelsea Football Club. We seem to liaise with them quite a lot. You know, look at the sort of Amari Kellyman situation, Carney Chukwuemeka. We've sort of had a little bit of liaisons with Chelsea and players. There's a world where I see Ollie Watkins and a Chelsea situation happening if Arsenal digest. It does suggest to me, the more I see these rumours about Ollie Watkins and Arsenal and the links and the calling off, it does seem to me that the player, Ollie Watkins, will go. I just see it. I see it. Big up to Rich Burton. He says Watkins on current form is miles off breaking the record. Is true. I mean, Watkins has to start games to score, and that at the moment he's been kept out the side from Rashford, isn't he? So there we go. Big up to Standing as well in the house. Hope you're well. If we sign Asensio permanently, will Ollie then be number 2 striker? Well, Asensio isn't seen as that number 9. It's whether Unai tries to tweak the system. But ultimately, I believe Villa at the moment play with one number 9 in Ollie Watkins. Rashford's preferred position isn't a number 9, but he's doing a job up there. And people are asking the question, would Donyell Marlon actually go and be Villa's number 9? Lots to sort of think about. But what I don't like is that basically a lot of Villa fans have got their eyes set on Ollie Watkins to Arsenal. And as this story has emerged, Ollie Watkins to Arsenal just does seem dead in the water now. They're cooling off. They're not happy. And essentially, they want a younger centre forward because you get more value and resale value from them. So, yeah, interesting. And I want to know, where else could you see Ollie Watkins go? Could you see Ollie going abroad? Could you see him staying? My sort of rogue shout that I've got is Chelsea. I think we could get a lot of money off Chelsea for Ollie Watkins. They're dying out for a number 9. Could be the way forward. Big up to PC Lockdown in the house as well. Lee Wilson, I've seen dropping in the chat as well. Hope you're well, Lee. Please do stay around for the whole show. We've got lots to discuss. As I said, just getting our teeth into the Ollie Watkins situation. The ticketing war is going to be absolutely nuts, that I'm going to talk about for the Emirates FA Cup semi-final. And, of course, we've got contract situations and Morgan Rogers to discuss further. But, yeah, let's throw it out there. Chat. Those watching replay, if you cannot see Ollie Watkins going to Arsenal, which again I'm going to put out there, for me, I think as Ornstein has said, as Sky suggested, that ship has sailed. That ship has sailed. So where could Ollie Watkins land himself? Fraser, Jonathan David on a free. I believe you don't think he signed yet. Is that true about Jonathan David? Do you think he'd be a good fit, Fraser? Oh, Jonathan David, do let me know your thoughts on that one. I'm good to Spicy Pricey as well. Always a legend in here. Watkins is not going to keep in control on the ball. He's been a bit off it of late, Martin. I'm not going to lie to you, but look, I think that this whole Watkins thing needs to settle down. We need to settle it down, the situation down. We either need to have Ollie Watkins sort of feel like he's going to stay. Maybe we need the player to confirm it to the club as well, that he sees his future at Aston Villa. Maybe it is impacting his performances on the pitch. Maybe that missed move from Arsenal in January has really, really hurt his confidence, hurt his playing style. And I know there's a few people in the chat have told me this, that Josh, he took his eye off the ball. He really, really has taken his eye off the ball. And he was Arsenal bound, and boyhood club, team he supported, difficult one. Tom doesn't want him at Arsenal. As an Arsenal fan, that's an interesting one. I think he's better than what you've got. That's all I'm going to say right now. PC says, I feel bad for Watkins. I think his best days at Villa are now behind him. Strange how quickly times change. Is mad. Last season, he was Mr. Irreplaceable. He couldn't stop scoring goals. He kept John Duran in the shadows. The Euros elevated him. Definitely the Euros elevated Ollie Watkins' profile. I think the link to Arsenal has as well. I really do. I think that move has. Can't fat base it, but sometimes it feels like we need more stronger options at the back. Always feel nerve when opponents get to the ball in final third. Did see Villa linked to a defender today from Sporting Lisbon, a big centre half. So yeah, I think we will be looking to recruit in the defensive areas. I think key wise is we need to recruit defensively and as our number 9 goal scorer. I think we're okay centrally. So there we go. Absolutely as well. I'm on the road to 300 on the big up. Big B says up the Villa. Big up to the Leverkusen fan in the house. We rate Leverkusen. They're a good side. We all know Ollie is a confidence player. So too much noise won't do him any good. If he's STEM, the club and him should really stay. Exactly what I'm thinking right now. I'm thinking Ollie's performances completely are being overrun by basically what I would say this transfer speculation. You know, it's not going to help Ollie Watkins. I don't think it helps Villa. But what I will say is Villa have always shown us they've got contingency plans. There will be a plan in place where they've planned a world where Ollie Watkins leaves and we'll already have our recruitment. Do you know what I mean? Josh, do you think England run got his eye off Villa? Ollie, that is. Potentially. Potentially is a great way of thinking of it standing as opposed to reverse. Look, when you get called up for international football, obviously it brings you up as a player. It elevates your confidence, your belief. Maybe there's still that systemic bias of you should be playing for a top 4 club to be playing for England, and therefore Ollie sees that. I don't know. Big up to Del Boy in the house. He says, now Southampton are down, bring back Cameron Archer. Now, Cameron Archer has always been a player that Villa fans have talked about, have almost regretted selling, almost feel like we should have. I can't see a world where Cameron Archer ever returns to us. I can't. I don't know if anyone else has ever really fully rated Cameron Archer. I'll tell you this. I think Cameron Archer has got an eye for goal and he's a goal scorer. But in terms of how Unai Emery plays, Cameron Archer, for me, would never fit an Unai Emery style team. I just don't think Cameron Archer's that. So, yeah, and big up to Piotr as well. Up the Villa to you. So, let's move away from Watkins onto the next sort of rumour and link. And this one scares me more than anything. And I'm not going to lie to you. This is the type of transfer that I see happening because of their new model that they're taking. And it's bloody Manchester City. Man City have a thing with re-signing players. Can you remember when Douglas Luiz came from Manchester City? And Man City, he had to go out to Spain because he couldn't get a visa. Then Villa stole him. And basically, ever since, Dougie Luiz to Man City has always been a rumour. There's always been a really poor rumour, in my opinion, a really poor rumour. But Man City's new model is really clear. Look at Marmoush. Look at the young Georgian centre-half they've signed. Manchester City, with Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Ilkay Gundogan, the regens, it's time for Man City to take a different approach. And I'm telling you now, a Morgan Rogers type signing scares me. It really does. Before I put the story out, I'm just going to go to the chat. Big up to my man Farmy. He says, fantastic weekend. Birmingham was ways in Villa Park's legendary. The match was superb that first half. Yeah, exactly that. And Farmy went to his, if you don't know, Farmy, of course, lives in Scandinavia. He's been able to come and watch Villa. And it's great to see European Villa fans come abroad and be able to enjoy the occasion. So big up to you, Farmy. I'm glad you loved it. But yeah, like Spicy said, I'm past the days of Tammy, Archer, Barry, etc. We need a big number 9. We need to be looking at the likes of Gyökeres, Oshman. Those are the types of names, really, we should be looking at to go to the levels what we want, which is basically to win trophies and to compete for Europe. Right? That's where we are. Yeah, agree, Stan. He was. What else we got? Yeah, Grealish did get slapped as well. Big up to Meeks in the house as well. Hope you're well. And look at that. Perfect timing. Heidi has joined us as well. Let me make a bit of space for her. Boom, boom, boom. There she goes. Lovely Heidi. Big up Heidi is in the chat, please. And she's got her new mint hot chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah, mint hot chocolate. But yeah, Morgan Rogers ain't going anywhere, mate. So 100%. Listen, I will put this. I am going to say this for real. Okay, I don't think Morgan Rogers goes. What I do say is this, though: beware of Manchester City's new model. Beware of Manchester City's new model. Their new model is signing young talent. They signed Marmoush. I can't pronounce the centre half they signed. He's Georgian. And Pep Guardiola said, he might not even be Georgian, he might be another nationality. Pep Guardiola said he can't even speak English. But he was the one who basically scored an own goal on his debut. But look at this. Manchester City holds serious hopes of re-signing Morgan Rogers, with Pep Guardiola in love with the Aston Villa forward. Do you know what that stinks of? That stinks of Pep. You've already killed one Aston Villa player in Jack Grealish. Keep your goddamn hands off him. I'm telling you now, if Morgan Rogers went to Man City, he would become another. If anyone doesn't know that, I was trying to be a robot. Heidi just looked at me like, you're nuts. But basically, Morgan Rogers has already said, and I've been telling you this, Morgan Rogers has already said that his time at Manchester City never worked out. He said he wasn't ready to be there. He didn't feel like he was at the right stage of development to be there. And the one thing he said was that Manchester City make you play a certain way that is very robotic, very regimented, very instructional, very positional based. And Morgan Rogers is far from that. Morgan Rogers is the type of lad you see at the park. He's just got a ball and he's playing street football, running rings around everyone, doesn't really want to pass the ball to anyone, and almost is taking the piss. Morgan Rogers does that on the Premier League stage for Aston Villa because Unai Emery goes, we need you on the ball, we need you deep, we need you higher forward, but we need you on the ball in the key areas. Pep Guardiola would make Morgan Rogers stand in a 10-yard box and say, you must stay in this space and keep the ball. So, yeah. But it worries me because Manchester City have, of course, the Manchester City pool, which is a lot of money, which is you're going to be competing for titles, etc. People are going to talk about their point reduction, I know. But you've also got the fact he used to play there. And finally, if you get the chance to work Pep Guardiola, sometimes it's too hard to turn down. But I'm going to go back to Morgan Rogers and say, but you've got the chance to win something with Aston Villa with Unai Emery, who's one day going to overtake that status and be the greatest manager in the world when he does wonders for Villa. But also, no banter aside, you just need to look at what he's done to Jack Grealish and realise that's not you. So there we go. But yeah, I'm going to leave that story on the stage quickly while I just look at some of the comments. PC says, anyone see Luke's opposition preview of the PSG fan today? Not surprisingly, he figures PSG are already job done. So if the PSG fan thinks he's job done, I want to hear that. I love how they're already writing us off. I really do. If City want to give us another 100 million, they can have Rogers, exactly. Even Heidi says, my dad. What else have we got? I'll repeat if Rogers goes to City. It just can't happen. It just can't happen. No player is unsellable, but Morgan is our key player. The Uzbek player. Oh, Uzbekistan, is it? There we go. The arrogance of teams like City, United, and PSG is so annoying. 100%. And I do need things from Peter Crouch. Peter Crouch was the robot king, and Emery over Pep 100%. End of Delphi went there too, yeah. And I'm glad you guys are all behind the Unai Emery train. But look, I've decided, by the way, I'm saving all my PSG slander and chat for tomorrow because, yeah, I just thought I've got a lot to say about PSG, and I thought I'm gonna save it till the night before to get myself hyped up. So Rodgers definitely suffers big time under Pep. Basically, piss off Man City, but as Ornstein keeps feeding out, I don't know if anyone saw this again, but there was another story that came out today about Ornstein. I think Ornstein is trying to basically sell Villa players. I don't like it. Let me get this story. I wasn't even going to put it on screen because I thought, you know what, piss off Ornstein. But let me put it out. Was that good, hot chocolate? Mm. Here it is. Here it is. Again, Ornstein, writing this time. Not saying it, but writing it. This is what Ornstein said again today. It's actually really annoying me, these media outlets trying to sell Villa players. He put, an outgoing won't come as a huge surprise. There are always clubs looking at Jacob Ramsey or Morgan Rogers generating some big admirers. That's not to say they're leaving, and certainly the club won't want to lose their best players. Okay, so why are you writing that then? Why are you writing transfer speculation about our two most promising young attackers and saying that, of course, Villa have to sell, which we all know, but they won't want to lose their best players? So what is he trying to say? And that's the one thing I fear about journalists, the media, is how they can push some of these players. If Manchester City want Morgan Rogers, they're gonna get they're gonna get people like that to push the narrative. They're gonna get people like that to get doubt. I'm convinced reading Morgan Rogers' interviews that he will not leave us. 100%. I'd be more convinced about Ramsey. I don't know about you in the chat, but a lot of you said 100% Morgan Rogers stays. Are you, guys, like Duran leaving in January has absolutely thrown my idea of what could or couldn't happen in the footballing world. I want to know your thoughts. It almost feels like anything could happen. We know we have to sell, and I want Villa fans to know this. I know that we talk about transfers a lot. We know we have to sell, right? We have to sell someone. I just hope it isn't Morgan. I don't think it's Morgan. I think Morgan is absolutely nailed down 100% staying. And I feel like 100% is such a big term to say, but I feel he stays. Man City, I don't feel got that pull for him. And I think we're going to be all right. So there we go. DB is well ready for Paris to have them sobbing. Honestly, that guy is the biggest shithouse in world football. He has the French on strings because of the World Cup, where he stopped the French winning it. It's going to be nuts. He's going to take pelters. Yeah, I agree on Pete Evans' comment here. Unai's better than Petty. Improves players, whereas Pet ruins any flair players. Is true. And Michael said it's all about likes and engagement. You can see that from people like Ornstein. Josh, have you seen other bit of podcasts with the PSG fan? He slated D Blue as horribly arrogant, but I love that D Blue's in the heads already gives us another advantage. No, I haven't seen that, so I have to check it out. I will message Luke after this show and say, look, people are telling me this PSG fan was a bit of a, yeah. And we have a lot of players out on loan that we can sell, Josh, but are they going to bring in the revenue that we desire? That's the big question. That is the big question. By the way, guys, 35 likes on the stream is absolutely quality, so fair play. Keep up those likes. We're going to run this up now. Okay, the next story. Here it is. Okay. Let's just get straight into the most brutal topic on the internet, which is, of course, Aston Villa ticketing wars. Oh, my days. Have you seen some of the reactions to the tickets? Let's just put this up here. You see this come through, and I thought, oh boy. As soon as I saw it, I thought, this is going to be interesting to talk about on the 7 o'clock news tonight. Yeah, that's right. I call Aston Villa from the stand 7 o'clock news now. But I saw this, and I said to Heidi straight away, I said, tickets out. Aston Villa confirmed ticket details for FA Cup semi-final against Crystal Palace at Wembley. In order to allow travelling supporters to return from our Champions League quarter-final first leg, tickets were not gone until sell until Friday. Now, first part is, I actually quite like that. And I'll tell you why I quite like that first part. I quite like that first part because they have allowed the die-hard supporters who are going, season ticket holders, who have clearly going to go and enjoy a spectacular time in France to cheer on Villa and then have to travel back, right? They've given them time to get back for Friday. I respect that. You put them out tomorrow, there'll be Villa fans just not able to do it, or they're not able to, it's their time on there. So that is a good one in that sense. However, second thing for me is this. Okay, let's go into the criteria. Have a look at this criteria right now, chat. It's going to blow your brains out. Let me remove this and put the thing up that we're sharing. Because this is where the wars have begun. I want to know people's genuine feelings, thoughts, and emotions on this one. As I said, predominant thoughts, feelings, and emotions, which is this. Okay, let's just go straight to the category. By the way, this is the pricing. This is the pricing for anyone who hasn't seen it. I'm sure a lot of you have. But this is the pricing just to run through. What do you think of those prices, by the way? Category 1 tickets, 90 quid for an FA Cup semi-final. So there we go. Meeks, top man doing that. Enjoy it with Clay. Send my regards to Clay as well, Meeks. PSG, absolute arrogant fan base, it sounds. And there we go. But yeah, £90 of category 1. What's your thoughts on that for a semi-final? Let's remember that an adult ticket for Cardiff City at home was 20 quid. Was it?
Yeah.
It was 20 quid. £10 we paid for Star, 20 quid for each for us. So 20 quid. Right? And now I know that this is a semi-final and you expect a bit of a price raise, but that 90 quid price is absolutely disgusting, first and foremost. Don't like that at all. Okay? Second one then is the categories. And this is where Villa fans have lost their yuds. Heads have gone. Yeah, I know, spicy, exactly that. Yes, big up Clay. A London prices, says Michael, agree. So that's at Wembley. Yes, it is PC. That's the prices for Wembley, mate, that semi-final. And again, that's why it isn't right, because it's at Wembley. It shouldn't be at Wembley. It should be at a neutral ground like the Emirates or the Tottenham Stadium. Do you know what I mean? That's where these games should be at. Neutral grounds that are big stadiums, but not Wembley. That's how the FA Cup used to be. The FA Cup used to be at neutral grounds. Villa Park used to hold lots of FA Cup semi-finals. So it goes. Season ticket holders who have attended one or more FA Cup games go first. Fair. That one's fair. Now, what has infuriated people is that claret and blue members, so members who have attended 3 home matches in all FA Cup games, then get a day's priority over season ticket holders who have not attended a game. So it's like category 2, category 3, the Tuesday and the Wednesday differential. So what the fan base is saying is, how have Aston Villa put members before season ticket holders? Members pay 25 quid for a membership. Oh, so I think it's actually more. I think it's like 40 quid for a membership, right? And 3 FA Cup games, let's just do the maths. Let's say it's 20 a pot. So 60. So 100 quid all in. And they get priority over season ticket holder who's paid 500, 600 plus. Now, the argument is, if you're a season ticket holder, why did you not attend the FA Cup games? If you've missed all 3 FA Cup games, why? That's the big question, the why. Because surely if you're a season ticket holder, you would be going to those FA Cup games. And look what Michael said. He cannot sum it up better. Season ticket holders that haven't been to FA Cup games before clearly aren't that interested. And so you've got to be careful. You don't want to be upsetting the season ticket holders and going, hey, listen, you're not that much of a fan because you don't even go to the FA Cup games. Because let's be honest, they're paying the money. They go into the FA Cup. They go into every Premier League game. They put their money out for a season ticket holder. Yeah, respect. But why have you not gone to the FA Cup games previously, but then demanded that you should get the passage to go to Wembley? That's the issue. So I thought, okay, let's have a look. And I promise you, the comments on here are nuts. The comments here are nuts. So nice. The comments here are nuts. And let's have a look. I'm just getting it up. The comments here are nuts. So, someone put, anyone know what the actual allocation is? I think it's 30-odd thousand, 34,500. So I don't know how many season ticket holders there are, but of course it's there. But there we go. So we've got, this is fair. Shame on members who have attended 2, though. The next one is East Side. Is that a mistake? So Villa fans aren't happy. They're on the east side of Wembley. Predominantly and previously, we've been on the west side. So here we go, the villain. This is crap. I've attended all FA Cup games, but not guaranteed a ticket. But season ticket holders and members who have attended a game can't get a ticket before. So the villain is someone who isn't a member, isn't a season ticket holder, but has went to all 3 FA Cup games. They haven't actually thought about those type of fans. They actually haven't thought about those type of fans. What about the ones who went to all FA Cup games, but not a member either? I didn't even think of that type of fan. But I went to Rotherham Away. Always a joke. Here we go. There's the rant. There were some rants here. So season ticket holders may not be able to go to Wembley because, look, because they have spent £750 for the season ticket, thank you, plus £300 for the 4 Champions League games, and members have been picked over them for paying for free £25 home games. Cheers, Villa. Now, that comment, I think, caused a lot of aggro. That comment caused a lot of aggro, which I get. I get that. You're not going to please everyone. You're not going to please everyone with these ticketing debacles. So, honestly, from my point of view, I personally think Villa have got it right. If you're a season ticket holder and you've not bothered to go to any of the FA Cup games, what gives you the right to think that you could just jump ahead and come in when it matters? Right? That's how I personally feel. So, I think Villa have done the right thing. I think they're right. PC says, no, London would be neutral though, would it? Since Palace, neutral ground would be like the Molineux. Well, yeah, I get what you mean. Basically, not being at Villa Park or Selhurst Park would be there. Spicy says, I did the membership. I've managed to do 4 games this season plus Bologna and struggled to get any other decent fixtures because they're always sold out before they're available to me. That just shows how hard it is and how tickets go. Yeah, they chose Champions League over FA Cups, and makes sense. True, Michael. And likewise, Michael, if Villa got to the Champions League final or semi-final, I expect the criteria to be in favour of those who did sacrifice FA Cup for Champions League, 100%. So if the revenue from FA Cup games means we don't have to sell someone to cover PSL, will you pay the price? That's true, but unfortunately, again, because of the FA, it's a throw in the pond winning the FA Cup. It's a really small winnings that is nowhere near what we need, unfortunately. Rich Burton says, season tickets are for the Premier League only, makes perfect sense to me. Exactly. I am in complete agreement with the Villa criteria. So it's a big thumbs up for me to Aston Villa. Well done. So we're going to round up in a second. All I'm going to say is, chat, big up to each and every single one of you. If you haven't already, please make sure you have liked the stream. What I'm going to do as well is throw in the membership link as well. Heidi and I are doing a AVFTS Easter giveaway. It's better than anything. It's better than what money can buy. We are making our world famous snack box. If you know, you know on the watch alongs, we like a snack or two. We have a snack box. And we are making an Easter snack box. So it's all fruit. All fruit, did you say? So yeah, you have to be a member to be part of it. You have to be a member to be part of it. So I'm just putting the link in now, and I'm going to pin it quickly. So if you want to be part of the AVFTS Easter snack giveaway, then be part of the members club. It's 99p a month. Big value. I try not to rip you off. And there's a lot of YouTubers who price their memberships at lowest tier at £2.99 and their highest tiers at like £6-7. I'm not about that life. I'm not about that. You know, a membership's just something nice and personal. 99p, come and be part of it, and you're part of a really good giveaway. And we'll make sure it's a great snack box. That's all I'm gonna say. An Easter hamper snack box. If you live abroad,
you have to say
we'll sort it out. But we'll find a way always. But look, PC has been a member for 9 months. Big up PC Lockdown, legend. I appreciate it. And thank you so much. So in terms of tomorrow's content, I'm probably going to do a little bit of a video in the morning, a morning release video about PSG, saying, don't you dare keep being arrogant. Basically, keep being arrogant. Write us off because it's going to haunt you. Okay? And then we'll be doing our 7 o'clock news about PSG preview, what I think the team's going to be. I'm a bit nervous about that one. I have no idea what I think Unai Emery's going to do. It's a toss-up. It's an absolute toss-up. So there we go. But legends as always. We love the 7 o'clock news. You'll hand deliver, right, Josh? Yeah, we'll have to go abroad to wherever it is and hand deliver. Save the postage, right? That's the way, PC. You said we could stay where you are in British Columbia. Yeah, so we'll rig the draw. PC. We'll rig the draw. But yeah, absolute legends, the lot of you. Big up. And as I said, if you do want to join the AVFTS clan, it's 99p. You can do it whenever you want and be part of the giveaway. But yeah, content tomorrow will be all about PSG. We're locking in for Champions League night. It's going to be a big one. Heidi and I are going to go away and cook now for Heater Pasta. Banging dinner. Hope you all have a lovely dinner. Oh, and by the way, pray for Leicester City miracle tonight. Pray for a Leicester City miracle. They haven't scored. Do you know what I found out? Leicester City haven't scored in 7 games.
No.
They've lost every game, but they haven't even scored in 7 games. So we need a miracle. We need Newcastle to absolutely be hungover from the Carabao Cup, but they won't be. But yeah, we need a new Leicester City, so pray for that. Villaman Cloudy says, I've been here just sorting the daughter out, her nighttime routine, etc. Score. Cloudy, a legend, and top dad as well for sorting out your daughter. But also top guy for having AVFTS on in the background. And yeah, people, I appreciate you all. Villaman Cloudy, PC, Vamos the VJ as well, top modding as always. Rich Burton, Michael Dimmock, Spicy Pricey, my dad, Andy Brogan as well. Meeks has obviously been and gone with Clay. Martin Roberts. Yes, we will be doing a watch on Martin. Sorry, I forgot to see that. Pete Evans. Anyone else who's been in here? Delboy's been in here. Standing, Fraser. And a lot of you. Big up legends up the mighty Villa. Join me tomorrow, same place, same time, 7 p.m. for the live stream. And a video's come out in the morning. I'm having it off with PSG fans. I'm sending out my warning to them. Write us off. Would you dare bet against us? People, enjoy a Tuesday. Oh no, it's Monday today. Enjoy your Monday. I'm out of here. Up the bloody Villa. Ta-da.